All right, everybody. Today I'm talking about what is the secret to a successful protocol. So I've got about 10 different steps we're going to go through. So this might be a little lengthy. So join in, comment, ask questions, invite people in here to listen because this is the secret that I use, the secret sauce to getting people well, but it's also the most difficult thing you can do to make it through all of this. So step one to a successful protocol is making sure that your body can drain so that you can get to the next step, which is getting some detoxification going. So you have to do drainage. You have to make sure that you're not constipated. That is step one for any protocol. If you are having a lot of diarrhea, honestly, it's not ideal, but it's better than being constipated as far as being able to take a step forward in your protocol. So drainage is step one. If you are draining, which means going to the bathroom, then I can move forward. And that means move forward to step two, which is going to be detoxification. Detoxification means that we get your liver where it is and your colon where it is capable for us to be able to take those steps forward. So if you've seen the detox steps in the True Healing Strategies group, it's in files. This will be following along with that, but a bit more detailed as we go through this. So detox means that we're able to, one, drain out of the colon, detox out of the colon. So that's going to mean I've got to make sure that parasites are out. I've got to make sure that bacterial dysbiosis is taken care of, which means that we're getting rid of a lot of the leaky gut symptoms as we go through this, because leaky gut cannot be healed until you get the organisms and the toxins out that would go through that. So for those of you out there that have asked questions about leaky gut, you've got to be able to get the infections and the toxins out of the body to get the leaky gut to start healing. But you also have glyphosate systemically in your body, in your joints, in your gut, in your brain. Glyphosate as it's coming out, even if it's bound up, binding to glyphosate is never perfect. There is no perfect binder. So as it goes through the body, through the lymph, into the liver, and then into the digestive tract to come out, it can still disrupt gut. So leaky gut is not a solved problem at any given point until you are all the way to true health. And even then, it requires consistency and follow through for the rest of time, as long as we live in a toxic environment, for you to be able to stay well. After you have the drainage and the detox pathways moving, in that process, we've got to get mitochondria cranked on. Mitochondria are delicate as far as how we use them. So some guys say turn on mitochondria first. Some guys say turn it on last. Some say turn it on in the middle. I'm the type of person that says turn it on when we can. The earlier, the better. But not every person is able to just crank that on and get it going, because with mitochondria, as soon as you start turning the wheels of mitochondria, getting that energy production going, your body's going to start trying to heal. And if your liver can't keep up with the body trying to heal, then you get toxic because those toxins start circulating around and through the body. So you've got to make sure that you're getting your drainage and detox first, along with the mitochondria. Now, if you look at the research, you're going to see that mitochondria, there's about 2,000 per cell in the liver. So the thought is if you can turn the mitochondria on in the liver, then the liver should be good. But just like an engine that is full of old gasoline or rust or corrosion, if you try to turn it on before getting some of that out, it's going to break. So we've got to make sure that we do the due diligence first to make sure that we're not going to break the system by getting the mitochondria cranked up. Once you have drainage, detox, and mitochondria going, that's when we're going to step into the next piece, which is patience, guys. You've got to have patience, because this process is not going to be overnight. If you've had this going on for years and years and years, it's going to take a long time to get well. So as you're pushing through this process to get well, you've got to take patience, because understanding how you work, how your body operates is key to this. So the first few months is a ramp up, especially if I'm working with you, so that you can understand what each step is doing as you move forward. All right, so the next piece is once you get drainage, detox, mitochondria going, and you have the patience to move forward because you understand how your body is doing each of those processes, you've got to figure out what you're dealing with. So do you have parasites, mycoplasma, mold, radiation, Lyme, parasites? What is it that we're dealing with that's at the root cause? So symptoms out there are not root causes. Morgellons, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, brain fog, seizures, MTHFR. These are side effects of things that are happening in your body. PANS, they're all side effects. We've got to be able to identify the root causes. So once you get down to the root cause level, whether it's metals, infections, toxins, glyphosates, whatever it is, that's when we start finding the order. So order is incredibly important, because if you try to go and do an ACC protocol before your body's ready for metal to come out, either nothing happens or the body goes into a freak out and causes massive reactions, and we're not getting the direction we need to go. So ACC is a protocol that many people have had a ton of success on, but you've got to be able to do it in the order that your body is ready for. So I've had many people come in where they tried to do metal detoxing or tried to do Lyme first, and they needed to do parasites. Or they started to do parasites first, but they never got drainage going. So proper order is absolutely monumental in getting this done. How do you pick the proper order? Honestly, that's a thing of experience when it comes to me. I've seen enough people and seen what their reactions are, and in that patience process of just starting detox and watching as a person goes, you can start to see what's happening. And the body will give you hints. If you have metal taste in your mouth, you need to go and work on some metals most likely. If you have tons and tons of body pain that flares up every time you try to do detox, you need to do lymph work. If you have symptoms that are more associated with Lyme than parasites, maybe you need to knock down Lyme, then go after the parasites because Lyme can live in it, and then come back to Lyme and then go to heavy metals. And it's really based off of what you're dealing with. And if you have the ability to muscle test or are working with somebody who can do muscle testing or biofeedback or has blood tested and understands, or urine tested and understands the mechanism, they can help guide you through this. The next piece is therapeutic dose and therapeutic length of time. So many people go, well, I'm sensitive, I can only take a couple drops. Well, a couple drops isn't going to get the job done. You've got to get to a therapeutic dose. If you are a 200-pound male with a chronic Lyme infection, you need X for your dose. If you are 50 pounds, you need X for your dose, and you have to get there, and less just isn't going to get it done. Now, everybody has a little bit of leeway in there, but you have to get to that therapeutic dose. Now, you're saying, my detox pathways don't work, it's hard for me to get there. Well, then the length of time it takes you is going to be longer. So I have people that come in and they can race through a protocol, 6 months, they're done, because we can do max therapeutic dose of multiple things at the same time without all the binders, and they're racing. Other people, they have to slowly work up getting to that therapeutic dose, and then for them, maybe it's 1 month at that therapeutic dose, done, move to the next, and we go on. So there is a length of time that is important that you have to stay at. So based off of what your protocol is, what you're dealing with, and what your detox capacity is, that's how long you've got to do it. And there's no shortcuts. There's no, well, it's harder for me, so I'm going to do it shorter. It just doesn't work that way. So you've got to do the proper length of time with a proper dosage to get through. Once you get all the way through all of your protocols, sometimes you do have to turn around and come back. And if you started with Lyme, sometimes you've got to treat a little Lyme bacteria after you get there. So you sometimes have to come back a little bit as you're going. But when we reach a completion point and I don't find anything else with the people I'm working with, that's when body optimization comes into play. If you've been sick for 5, 10 years, or if you've just been so chronically ill, you're bedridden, or you're having tremendous problems, we have really, truly got to get you going and strengthened so that you're able to stay healthy. There's a reason why you came down with this, whether it's stress, EMFs, you drink bad water, or you eat out of too much plastic. There is a reason why you got there, and we have to make sure to optimize your lifestyle. We've probably done it through the protocols. But that also means that for a couple of years after we're done, we're still keeping up with where you're at and how things are moving forward. That doesn't mean appointments all the time. That doesn't mean you're taking long, heavy, expensive protocols. That means that what we're doing is we are focused on keeping you strong. So we're making sure that your B vitamins stay up, your cholesterol level stays up, that you're getting proper rest, you're doing proper detox even after you're well, so that these things don't come back and get you, because they're in you, they're opportunistic. So you've got to keep up the healing strategies. Even if it's at a much lower rate than when you were sick, you've got to keep up the healing strategies. I have so many people that want to get to completion. Like, I'm done, I'm good, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm going back to my old life, here's a Big Mac. That's not how this works. There's a reason you got sick to begin with. Your body's constitution cannot handle jumping back into the garbage. So you've got to stay well. Follow through is key in this for a longer period of time. So the step of follow through is you've got to keep it going. Even in the end, you can't just optimize for a short period of time. So keep it moving forward and stay consistent with those things that you have to stay well in the end. Because if you're not staying consistent throughout the entire process of doing your drainage, your mitochondrial support, your detoxification, getting to and staying at the proper amounts for long enough to stay well. And here's the big secret at the end. You're gonna feel well before you're well. You heard me right. You're gonna feel well before you're done with your stuff. I have so many people that get through protocols that go halfway through a protocol, they're like, man, I'm feeling so much better. Let's just stop this and move to the next one. Or my symptoms are all down to zero. I'm great. I'm going to stop treating now because well, it takes time and costs money, and I don't have the motivation to take my supplements anymore. No, you have to keep going. You have to get the threshold and the toxic burden below your mitochondrial dysfunction. Because here's the thing. When you came in, you were this sick and your mitochondrial function was here. I got you back to here. That means that if you don't keep going and you add a little stress to your life, now your mitochondria are below that threshold, and everything that comes after you is going to keep digging that hole back to where you were. We have to get you to here, which is feeling good. This is zero symptoms. And then push above that to get you back to health and wellness, to be here to where when stress in life happens, or you work out too hard, or you've got kids that get stressed, or your job is stressing you, or you go and work in a moldy building, you can handle it. So you've got to reach true wellness and overdo it for a long period of time. And that is the secret to success. Getting people from chronically ill to feeling a little better, that's not that hard. It can take time, but it's not that hard. Getting people from chronically sick to feeling better to staying better, and then to get off of the hard treatments and just doing lifestyle, that's the hard part. Because follow through once you feel good falls off drastically. So you've got to stay with it, and you've got to remember all those things that you did to stay well and get well once you are well. Okay. So that's my spiel on the secret to a successful protocol, because so many of those steps are missed. People fall off too early. They don't stay consistent after. They don't stay on their protocols long enough. It gets hard in the middle because you're having reactions and you're not detoxing enough, or it's just hard. So you've got to keep going. You have to stay in the game for long enough. If you've been sick for a year and you're very chronically ill, it could take a couple to get better. If you've been sick for 20 years, expect it to take years, 2-3 years to get well. If you know you're reactive to things, expect it to take longer. Set these expectations in your mind. Play the long game. You can get well. You will get well. Stick to it. All right, that's it. I'm out. If you know somebody that needs to hear this, make sure that you bring them to this so that they can hear it. Make sure that you tag them in it, that you invite them to the group so they can see this. True Healing Strategies is to bring hope and healing, bring hope to the hopeless, and get people well. Thanks for watching.